Have you ever felt a sudden wave of dizziness or strange pressure in your head and told yourself it was just part of getting older? A patient once told me she felt moments like that often, but she brushed them aside because they disappeared quickly. I want you to imagine this. What if those tiny moments were your body whispering a warning long before something more serious happened? Most people think stroke risk comes from diet, genetics, or blood pressure alone. Very few realize that hydration mistakes play a much bigger role than they ever imagined, especially after 60. Your body becomes less efficient at regulating fluids as you age. The thirst signal weakens, the kidneys slow down, and even mild dehydration begins to change how your heart and brain function. When the body doesn't get enough water, blood volume drops. The heart has to pump harder to move that thicker, slower-moving blood through the vessels. As the blood thickens, blood pressure rises, and the brain receives less oxygen-rich blood than it needs. All of this can happen quietly, without dramatic symptoms, and yet it increases stroke risk far more than most seniors are ever told. I've seen so many older adults mistake dehydration for normal aging. They think their fatigue, confusion, headaches, or unsteady balance are simply because they're getting older. But often, these are early signs of the body asking for help. And too many seniors don't recognize how something as simple as inconsistent hydration can quietly create the conditions for a stroke long before any obvious danger appears. This video reveals the truth no one told about how hydration mistakes silently push seniors toward stroke. It's a truth that deserves to be heard because your body has protected you for decades. Now it needs your awareness and care so it can continue carrying you forward with strength. Stay with me, and if this message resonates, remember to subscribe and follow Senior Health Daily so you never miss the information that can protect your future. In the next part, we'll explore the hidden science of hydration and why seniors are especially vulnerable. When we truly begin to understand hydration, it becomes clear that water is not just something we drink. It is a fundamental part of how the heart pumps, how the brain thinks, and how every cell in the body communicates. For seniors, hydration is not a luxury or a casual habit. It is a lifeline that influences stroke risk in ways most people never hear about. So let's go deeper into the connection between hydration mistakes and stroke risk after 60. I want you to take this journey with me slowly, the same way I would explain it to you if you were sitting right in front of me in my clinic. The science made simple, I often ask my patients to picture their bloodstream as a river. When that river is full and flowing, everything moves smoothly. Oxygen travels through the body, nutrients reach the organs, the heart pumps steadily and consistently. But when dehydration begins, the river loses water. The flow slows, the texture thickens. Imagine mud forming where water once ran freely. That change in consistency affects everything. When your body doesn't receive enough water, the blood becomes thicker. This means the heart must work harder to push it forward. Every heartbeat requires more force, more pressure, more stress on the artery walls. Thickened blood also moves more slowly, and with slower flow comes a higher chance of clots forming. In a young body, there is still room for flexibility and compensation, but in a body over 60, the arteries are no longer as forgiving. Years of natural aging make them stiffer and more vulnerable to pressure changes. As dehydration worsens, blood pressure rises in response, pushing those stiff arteries closer to their limit. The brain is incredibly sensitive to hydration levels. Even a small drop in blood flow can change how well the brain receives oxygen. Many people are surprised when I explain this. They think stroke happens only when a big clot forms or a major artery bursts, but the brain experiences stress long before that moment. Low hydration lowers blood volume, which means less oxygenated blood reaches the brain. It is similar to dimming the lights in a room. Things still work, but not as brightly or clearly as before. Seniors are especially vulnerable to this process for several reasons. First, kidneys naturally lose efficiency with age. They cannot concentrate or conserve water as well as they once did. Second, the sensation of thirst decreases significantly after 60. Many older adults do not feel thirsty until they are already dehydrated. Third, common medications such as diuretics, blood pressure drugs, and pain medications alter how the body processes fluids. Add the natural decrease in muscle mass, which stores a large portion of the body's water, and hydration becomes a complex challenge. I want you to imagine how this hidden cycle plays out in daily life. A senior wakes up slightly dehydrated after sleeping 7 or 8 hours without drinking water. They drink coffee, which pulls water out of the body. They eat a breakfast that includes bread, processed foods, or salty items, which further dehydrate the body. They forget to drink water during the day or only drink when they feel thirsty, which is far too late. Their blood gets slightly thicker, their heart pumps harder, their blood pressure rises just a little, and the tiny vessels in the brain feel that added pressure. One day of this is not a problem, but years of following this pattern quietly increase the risk of microdamage in the brain. When these microdamages occur, they do not always create dramatic symptoms. Instead, they show up as tiny, silent strokes that accumulate slowly. The person feels a little foggy, a little slower, a little unsteady. Families often say, "That's just aging." But many times, it's not aging. It's a brain reacting to years of subtle dehydration. This is the science most people never hear, the science that explains why hydration matters so deeply after 60. Now let's move into the hidden risks that doctors often don't have time to explain in a short appointment. Hidden stroke risks. Doctors don't have time to explain. Silent strokes are some of the most overlooked dangers in senior health. They do not come with dramatic warnings. They often come with symptoms that last only seconds. A moment of dizziness, a sudden wave of fatigue, a pressure behind the eyes, or a brief sense of imbalance. These symptoms are easy to ignore. Older adults often assume they stood up too fast or didn't sleep well. But these subtle moments often reflect the brain struggling with changes in hydration and blood flow. Hydration mistakes can amplify these signals. Drinking too little water throughout the day is one of the most common issues I see. Many seniors drink only with meals or when they feel thirsty, which is far too late. Some drink most of their water at night, which leads to bathroom trips that interrupt sleep and cause further dehydration the next morning. Others rely heavily on coffee or tea, forgetting that caffeinated drinks can pull water out of the body. Many people also underestimate the dehydrating effects of high-sodium foods. When the body receives too much sodium and not enough water, it must pull water out of the cells to balance the sodium levels. This leaves the body in an even more dehydrated state, while also increasing blood pressure. There are also dangerous combinations that most seniors never consider. Dehydration paired with high blood pressure multiplies the risk of stroke. Dehydration paired with heat exposure, even mild heat, can push blood pressure into dangerous territory. Dehydration paired with certain medications like diuretics or laxatives can shift fluid levels dramatically in a matter of hours. Hidden sodium sources make this situation worse. Bread is one of the largest contributors to sodium intake in the American diet. Soups, even those labeled healthy, are packed with sodium. Frozen meals and restaurant dishes often contain more sodium in one serving than a senior should have in a whole day. Many sauces, snacks, and flavored items used for convenience quietly magnify dehydration and increase blood pressure. Now that you understand these hidden risks, I want to share real stories from my practice that show how hydration mistakes can quietly create life-changing outcomes. Real cases from practice. One woman in her 70s visited me because of recurring neck pain. She said the discomfort would come and go, and she always assumed she had slept wrong or moved too quickly. She was active and independent, but she often forgot to drink water because she never felt thirsty. After deeper evaluation, we discovered she was chronically dehydrated and consuming more sodium than her body could handle. Her blood pressure was fluctuating more than she realized. She was on the edge of a stroke without knowing it. After simple hydration corrections and sodium reduction, her symptoms improved dramatically, and the stroke risk we feared was avoided. In another case, A man in his mid-60s had normal blood pressure at home, but loved eating out. One evening, after a particularly salty meal and a long day without drinking water, he felt pressure behind his eyes and a wave of confusion. He assumed he was tired. The next morning, his blood pressure had spiked, and he experienced a mini-stroke. This event did not disable him, but it changed his clarity and confidence. When we reviewed his habits, dehydration played a major role in the crisis. The third case involves a woman whose family believed she was going through natural cognitive decline. She forgot conversations, lost balance more frequently, and felt overwhelmed by simple tasks. An MRI revealed multiple silent strokes accumulated over time, partly fueled by chronic dehydration and elevated blood pressure. These strokes didn't happen dramatically. They happened quietly, day after day, year after year. Each of these stories highlights a truth I've seen repeatedly. The body whispers long before it screams. Hydration mistakes are often small choices repeated daily, slowly pulling the body toward danger without anyone noticing. What seniors can do today. The good news is that small, simple steps can change everything. Hydration habits don't require perfection. They require attention. Sip water throughout the day instead of drinking large amounts at once. Hydrate early in the morning so your body starts the day balanced. Use natural sources like fruits or soups to maintain hydration gently. Avoid too much water late at night so your sleep stays uninterrupted. Reduce caffeine and salty meals when possible. You can check for dehydration by paying attention to your body. Dark urine, dry mouth, dizziness, fatigue, or confusion are common signs. If you ever feel these symptoms repeatedly, especially combined with neck pain or pressure behind the eyes, take it seriously. Home blood pressure monitoring is also key. Look for patterns, not just isolated readings. Sudden jumps of 15 to 20 points can reveal the body's response to dehydration, sodium, or stress. Foods that worsen dehydration include salty snacks, processed meats, fried items, and sugary treats. Eating balanced meals, staying gently active, and managing stress all support your brain and heart in powerful ways. Before we continue, if this information is helping you understand your health better, please subscribe, like, and share Senior Health Daily. It truly motivates us to continue creating life-saving content for you. Important clarifications. Some people think drinking water solves everything, but hydration is about balance. Not everyone needs the same amount of water. Medications, health conditions, and daily habits all affect hydration levels. Avoid forcing excessive water, as it can cause hyponatremia, though this is rare. And remember, knowledge empowers you. Fear does not. Now that we've covered the science, the signs, the stories, and the solutions, it's time to bring everything together. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to take a moment to think about the incredible body that has carried you through every season of your life. Decades of movement, joy, heartache, memories, growth, and resilience. Your body has protected you through storms you didn't even know were happening. And now, in this chapter of life, it simply needs more mindful care in return. Not fear, not perfection, just awareness, attention, and compassion. Stroke is sudden, it is life-changing, and far too often, it is silent until the last possible moment. But the beautiful truth is that small, simple choices hold extraordinary power in preventing it. Something as basic as staying hydrated, paying attention to how your body feels, and making gentle adjustments to your daily habits can shift the direction of your health in ways that matter for years to come. Every glass of water you drink, every time you choose foods that support your heart and brain, every moment you pause and listen to your body's whispers protects your future more than you realize. I want you to remember something important. You are never alone on this journey. Senior Health Daily is here to walk beside you, to guide you with clarity, warmth, and honesty. I speak from experience, from years of seeing how small changes reshape lives, restore hope, and help people feel strong again. And I believe deeply that your best years can still be ahead of you. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for caring enough about yourself to learn, to reflect, and to grow. If this message has touched you, encouraged you, or helped you see your health in a new way, I invite you to subscribe and stay connected. Together, we can keep building the kind of knowledge that protects your brain, strengthens your heart, and gives you the confidence to live fully. Your future is still filled with possibility, and I'm honored to walk this path with you.